Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing great and everything is going fine with you. Welcome to another video. Today, we are going to cover a new lesson, which is adverbs of frequency. So, by the end of this video, we will have answered the following questions, which are: what do we mean by adverbs of frequency? What are the different adverbs of frequency that we have in English? And what is their use? So the first thing that we are going to talk about is the uses of adverbs of frequency. So we use the adverbs of frequency to say how often we do things. So les adverbes de fréquence كنستعملوهم باش نقولوا تردد ديال الفعل ديال الأشياء. Okay, so here in order to tell the reader how much we do a kind of activity. Are we doing it all the time? Are we doing it usually? Are we doing it sometimes? Are we doing it seldom, rarely, etc., etc.? So in this video, we'll go through different types of adverbs of frequency. So the most common frequency adverbs in English are always, which refers to actions that we do all the time on 100% basis. Frequently is 90%. So here it represents 90% of the activities that we do on a regular basis. Usually represent 80% of the activities that we do all the time. Often 70%, sometimes 50%, occasionally 40%, seldom 20%, and rarely to 10%, and of course, last but not least, never, which do not do or has never done before. So always دائما frequently يعني بشكل متردد usually عادة often the same thing. Sometimes في بعض الأحيان 50%. Occasionally it comes from occasion. We do it just in particular occasions. Seldom نادرا ما. Rarely نادرا never أبدا. So here we have a conversation between two students. The first student say, I got an F again. So F is a bad mark and A plus is a good mark. So here by his face, we can say that he is not happy with his mark. He got an F, which is below the average. So I got an F again. I got an A plus. So he is happy with what he has got. You got an A plus again? How do you do it? Well, I always do my homework and I often ask the teacher for help. So this is the key to his success. He always do his homework and often ask the teacher for help if he doesn't understand anything or something that is difficult to understand. Well, I'm usually late for class and I never do my homework. So this student here is the opposite of the brilliant student. He usually late for class and never does his homework. That's why he got an F at the exam. Maybe I need to try your study habits. So now let's talk about the position of these adverbs. Note number one or remark number one, adverbs of frequency go before all verbs or the main verb and after a form of the verb to be is, and are. Let's see an example in order to understand what do we mean by this remark here. So here she is often late for class. So when we want to use these adverbs of frequency, نبغيو نستعملوا هاد adverbs of frequency, it is an obligation that we use them in a particular place in the sentence. كتبقى اوبليغاسيون اننا نستعملهم في particular place in the sentence في واحد المكان محدد في الجمله. For example ملي كيكون عندي verb to be in the sentence كنستعملوهم more verb to be. She is often late for class. So here we have is, which is verb to be in simple present. Either it is or am or are. من بعدها عاد تنستعملو داك adverbs of frequency. So she is often late for class يعني عادة ما تتكون متأخرة على المدرسة ديالها ولا على القسم ديالها. They are always late for class. So here always, it means that it is happening over and over again. So 100% sure. She usually cooks and they usually cook. So here in these examples here, you can see that it's not the case. Here, so remark has stated two things. قلت لنا انه منين نبغيو نستعملوا adverbs of frequency ويكون verb to be كنستعملوه من بعد verb to be ديك adverbs of frequency. So the first two examples you can see that we use often and always after verb to be. ولكن في الحالة الثانية you can see that we used a different verb. استعملنا الverb اللي هو cook جاي من cooking اللي هو الطبخ. ولكن واش استعملنا adverbs of frequency من بعد cook? No, we used them before. يعني في هذه الحالة ملي تيكون عندي verb to be كنستعملو adverbs of frequency من بعدو. وملي تيكونوا عندي الverbs الآخرين من غير verb to be كنستعملو adverbs of frequency قبل. Okay? And you can say, for example, are you using always or often or usually or frequently or seldom, never, whatever adverb frequency, it's applied the same thing. Note number 2 or remark number 2, we don't and doesn't, we use the adverb of frequently after this and before the verb. So here ملي تيكون عندي other auxiliary لأن is an auxiliary in English and do is also an auxiliary in English. So here we say we don't usually travel. يعني فوقاش كنستعملو داك الادفيرب of frequency كنستعملوه between don't and the main verb لأن الاستعمال ديال don't هو أنه auxiliary that help us make negative sentences and interrogative sentences from affirmative sentences. يعني كيساعدنا ان الجمله الا كانت affirmative كنردوها نيجاتيف وكنردوها interrogative form. اوكي ولكن هنا البلاص ديال adverb of frequency كنديروه between don't and the main verb. You can see we don't usually travel, she doesn't usually travel. Note number 3 or remark number 3, the adverb of frequency sometimes, often, usually can go at the beginning of sentences or sometimes they are put at the end, not before main verbs. In Hina, for example, they have two places they can come in the beginning or they can come at the end. Let's see an example. Sometimes we study English, or we can say we study English sometimes. And both of them are correct. Either we say sometimes in the beginning or sometimes at the end. We study English usually, or we say usually we study English. The adverbs of frequency answer the typical questions starting with how often and how frequently. So if we want to ask somebody how frequent or how often he does an activity يعني عدد المرات اللي تيدير شي نشاط ولا عدد المرات اللي تيدير شي حاجة, we ask the following two questions. How often, for example, how often do you play soccer in a week? I would say I usually play soccer 5 times a week, or I always play soccer every week, or etc. etc. Or we use the question which is how frequently. So here example number 1, how often do you brush your teeth? It is an ordinary activity that we do every single day. So I always brush my teeth whenever I wake up and of course after every single meal. So it is an action that we do 100% every day. Example number 2, how often does your mother cook? She rarely cooks. We just order by phone, order pizza or order salad. So here, how often does your mother cook? She rarely cooks, or she always cooks, or she usually cooks, or she never cooks. How often is Claudio late for class? He is never late for class. It looks like he is an excellent student. He is a punctual student. He always comes on time. More examples. I always go to school by bus. I don't usually get up at 7. I sometimes have lunch in a restaurant. I seldom have breakfast. So that's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. See you in another time with another video. Till then, peace and love. Take care.